What's up, cappers, gamblers, hustlers? What's up, low baggers? What's up, Oprah? What's up, mama? I am Drew Martin being called in from the pen, MLB playoffs and all, for Betting with the Bag afternoon show here, October 17th, standing in for the legend, Jimmy the Bag. Reports are that he is face down in a drained pool in Jaco, Costa Rica, but there's also reports he's on a G6 heading to Thailand with Five Dimes Tony. So I don't really know what to believe, but either way, I am stepping in from him. And in all seriousness, he's just out on a sick day. So hopefully you get better soon, buddy. I know you're watching out there. Shout out to Jimmy the Bag. We got a full house here in the chat box. Everybody already in. Love it as well. And we got Eric, Dutch, Big E. Welcome in, boys. Eric Nisbet in the house. Alfonso Acosta. Welcome in, guys. We got college football. We got NFL. We're going to be breaking down for tonight's game. Also, quick look ahead towards the weekend slate. We got two UFC videos, Animarak and Fat Fist, plus the fact DJ Big Boss joining the show. We don't know where he's coming from, but we will find out here soon. Guys, we got in terms of weeknight slate, it's getting good in college football. We got Thursday night games tonight, not necessarily jam-packed with college football tonight. Tomorrow night's Friday night lights card looks really good as well. Plus the fact NFL tonight. So a lot of good stuff on the slate. We got NFL game here, 8:20 Eastern, Kansas City at Denver. Looks like 49 being the total, seeing -3 here, the Chiefs on the road. This is a game where I don't necessarily love it, but heck, it's a singled out NFL game. Feel like I got to have some action on it, the degenerate in me. And it's one of these situations where it's eye test versus like the sports betting angle that I like to follow. In terms of Kansas City, I feel like has more fireworks. It's the sexier offense. People kind of gravitate towards that when looking to bet on singled out games in the NFL, really betting the NFL in general. But keep in mind, Patrick Mahomes is a little bit banged up. I know this. He's on my fantasy team. Unfortunately, the last couple weeks haven't been that great for him. But it is a short week. They've lost a couple here straight, ATS, going up against Denver, who's won a few in a row against the spread. It's going to altitude on a short week against the Broncos defense that has looked good. Home underdog here. That's the way I'm going to bet it, guys. Not a big bet at all. Just something to have a little action and watching the Thursday night NFL game live from Vegas right here. But I don't know, man. I just think this Denver Broncos team catching the points is worth a shot. Let me know what you guys think in the chat box. We got Zach saying Chiefs secondary is trash. I mean, they're not great by any means. It's just a matter of, can the Broncos offense kind of take it to them? Hoping they can. We got Eric Nisbet saying Broncos plus 3.5 or 3. I'm really just seeing threes out there. If there is a 3.5, I would love to jump on that as well. Where are you seeing a 3.5 at? Maybe Bovada, if you got a Bovada account. Unfortunately, I don't. I'm only seeing threes at my shops, but that's the way I'm looking in the NFL slate. We also got 2 FBS games in college football. What's up, Jamba? Welcome in, man. Zach Haynes as well. Timmy Nugent. I am Drew Martin stepping in for the legend Jimmy the Bag, who is out on a sick day. Eric in the house saying Broncos and UCLA tonight. Man, that Pac-12 game, man, that's a nice segue towards the college football gridiron. I'm more interested in the Sun Belt matchup. We got the Ragin' Cajuns and Arkansas State, 2 of the top 3 teams, I would say, in the Sun Belt plan. But in terms of the Pac-12 game, let me know what you guys are thinking. It's not a game that I bet as of yet. Could be talked into a side. Getting multiple TVs up here. It's the night slate, 9 p.m. Eastern kick, UCLA at Stanford. We got the Cardinals minus 3.5 or minus 3 in Palo Alto, 49 being the total. Whenever I think of the Bruins, man, it's like every time I've seen them this year, and I haven't watched every game, but, they didn't look that good against Cincinnati. Now, granted, the Bearcats are good defense. They did play that one in Hibbert Stadium. Cincinnati was the absolute right side. And talent-wise, up and down the roster, I felt like Cincinnati, kind of had them. And when an AAC team is the more talented team against the Pac-12 team. That always worries me for UCLA going into conference play. And we've seen them here. What, against Oregon State on the 5th? They have had a extra time to prepare for this, so the away team doesn't bother me as much in the midweek games. But they did lose ATS against Oregon State, also straight up 48-31. So their defense has just been getting torched. They played well against Arizona. Washington State, one of the most legendary games of the season, back and forth, the big comeback. But outside of that, man, they've kind of been getting their doors blown off. Oklahoma, San Diego State, Cincinnati as well. Not that San Diego State really blew their doors off. Neither did Cincinnati, but absolutely wrong side if you were betting UCLA in those two games. And Stanford, as of late, they had that great game against Washington, and they're going to have extra rest here too. So when we got extra rest, I always factor a little bit more into the coaching angle. And Shaw versus Chip Kelly, I think that's a tricky handicap in itself. Who's the better coach? I mean, you can make an argument for both of them. I'd probably stand on the side of the fence that Chip Kelly is, but I don't feel confident in that at all. And in fact, I'm second questioning it right now. I mean, how good of a coach is Chip Kelly? Is he towards the bottom of the Pac-12? Is he one of the better coaches in the Pac-12? I don't really know. Let me see your guys' thoughts here. I'd be interested in that. I'd put Whittingham at the top. I'd put I'd even put Herm Edwards near the top of the Pac-12 coaching tree. But yeah, we got Doug in the house. Fat Fist. We're gonna play a video here from you in just a second. Lamont Williams, low bagger himself. Red Girl in the house. Red Girl always with good videos there on Twitter. Excuse me. Red Girl, you need to keep posting those videos on Twitter, man. It's always good stuff. Liberty Finder in the house as well. So yeah, in the college football games, I'm leaning towards Stanford just being the home team, but I don't know, guys. Maybe somebody could talk me into one of the sides there. But I will say this about the Sun Belt game tonight. We got the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns in Jonesboro, Arkansas, going up against the Arkansas State Red Wolves here. High total, seeing 69. Interesting number there. 6.5. Lafayette on the road, seeing -6 at some shops. So make sure to shop around. When we start talking 6 in college football, becomes a key number there. Really look at this just by talent-wise. When you start talking about Sun Belt teams and who's the best Sun Belt program, you could make the argument Arkansas State over the last decade is, and you're probably right there. I mean, Appalachian State, even Georgia Southern might have an argument. And I think the market's kind of pricing that in because this year, their quarterback, Logan Bonner, banged up. They're really banged up all up and down their starting lineup here. So Arkansas State this year, I think, is taking a step back. We saw it against Georgia State. The Panthers really took it to them. Now they're going to host Louisiana Lafayette here tonight. And Louisiana Lafayette, in terms of just talent in the Sun Belt, is one of, if not the most talented team. And I know that they lost to App State. It was a close-fought game, though, and I believe that they'll have a rematch here, just like last year. It will be App State versus Louisiana Lafayette for the Sun Belt title in the championship game. They now play the championship game in the Sun Belt, and so therefore, I think Louisiana Lafayette is going to win this game straight up and cover the -6. I think it's too short here. I think talent-wise, passing, offensively, and defensively, all favoring Louisiana Lafayette. So I laid the 6 here with the Ragin' Cajuns on the road. Hitting the chat box here for a second. Doug Barnhouse in the house. He took Vegas -1.5 on the ice. Denver, Kansas City under 49 in the taint parlay of the day. New York Yankees first 5 tonight. And yeah, great reminder there, Doug. In terms of MLB playoffs, we got the New York Yankees favored tonight with Tanaka on the hill. Interesting tidbit on the MLB playoffs. Tanaka's a big game pitcher. Look back at where he's performed well. It's kind of on this stage. Makes me really look towards the Yankees here. Plus the fact, if they lose, they're likely out. That would most likely mean a Nationals versus Astros kind of ticket here for the World Series. But Yankees overall at home, Yankee Stadium, and we've seen the line move towards it as well. So the money coming in on the Yankees. I do think that the kind of what the postponement in the weather will help the Yankees a little bit more than the Astros. I guess you could make the argument what Verlander, Cole going to be able to pitch again if they need it. So not so confident on that, but I do feel like it did help the Yankees. Plus the fact their bullpen has been pretty good. And the Bombers, man, when you start talking about handicapping the MLB playoffs in terms of how much each home run will matter, both of these two teams swing for the fences. But I think Tanaka, big game pitcher, must win for the Yankees, and being at home leans me towards the Yankees. Also saw some interesting stuff on the futures in terms of who will win the World Series. I believe the Astros are just minus 105 to the Nationals at a plus price, and the Yankees at a huge plus price right now, I believe, over plus 300 is what I think I saw it at. And keep in mind, the American League team, correct me if I'm wrong, will have home field advantage in the World Series. I'm still bummed out that the All-Star game doesn't decide the World Series champion. I think it's best record. I know I'm in the minority on that, but I just felt like the MLB All-Star game was the best All-Star game. It still is, but having that fact, I thought that it was pretty great for the Midsummer Classic. I know I'm in the minority. Most people don't like that. Yankees by 20. Joe and Isak saying likely doubt that, but see where you're going there. Jamal in the house as well, not applicable. First five with the Yankees sounds good to you. Jimmy, the wind is crazy in New York City, almost 30 miles per hour. Well, Rez, man, that's a good nidbit there. Anybody out there in New York City, let us know what you're seeing with the weather, which way it's blowing at Yankee Stadium. We got, American won the All-Star game, but I don't think that decided the home field advantage in the World Series. But guys, chime in, whatever you want to hear about on the chat box. Try to throw it out here. We got 2 UFC videos coming. DJ Big Boss as well around, but we got UFC coming up next. It's not a card that I have really done a lot of work in, so we were going to play Animarak's clip here and then Fat Fist clip after. And of course, a great thing as a handicapper and wanting to bet these cards is being able to compare the two handicappers and what they line up on, and maybe firing away at that. So we got Rafa behind the scenes. He might have a Costa Rican Primera Division bet for us coming on later. He's a Heredia fan. I'm 2-0 with his picks, by the way. We went to a game down there together in Costa Rica. That was a fun time. So we'll have his best bet as well before the end of the show. But man, if we could play that Animarak video first, Rafa, and then follow it up with Fat Fist after, you let me know, man, if we're all racked up to be playing these videos. And if so, let's go ahead and start that Animarak video, buddy.
This weekend, we're going to Boston. That's right, we are shipping up to Boston. And you know what? The fights are on Friday. So PSA for everybody, they're not on Saturday night like they usually are. They're rocking Friday night. So get off work, grab a beer, go home, get your bets ready to go. We've got some action this weekend. It's going to be a bit of a wild card with a lot of up-and-comers, so a lot of big question marks on this fight card. Not as many spots as I'm usually in love with for bets. The very first one, we're going to kick our night off on the undercard. We've got Randy Costa and Boston Salmon going at it. Both of these kids are absolute finishers. Both guys are coming off of their first UFC fights and their first UFC losses. They both got finished. Now, Randy Costa stepped into the UFC and he came out swinging like a wild man and actually hurt his opponent badly before he got taken down and subbed out in round 2. Boston Salmon got TKO'd in about 25 seconds. Randy Costa is a serious striker with some long range, some heavy hands, and before his UFC debut, he had less than 3 minutes of fight time in 4 knockout wins. Dude's got some serious finishing ability. I don't think this fight goes the distance, and I hit the under 2.5 at plus 100 right when that line dropped. That's probably been juiced down right now. I think I saw it at about minus 120. I love that pick. I do not see this thing going 3 rounds. I definitely don't see it going to decision because they're both bringing heat, and they're both going to want to put a statement on the fact that they belong in the UFC coming off that first loss. Our second pick is going to be Darren the Dentist Stewart. He's taken on Darren Wynn, and this is a really interesting matchup because Darren Wynn's an all-American caliber wrestler, and Darren Stewart has some serious heat in his hands. Big step up for Darren Wynn. He could use the wrestling to grind out a win here, but I like the dog, Darren Stewart. I got him a little earlier in the week. Money has come in on Wynn, so if you tail me here, you're going to get a better line than me. I got minus 106 at the pick'em price, just because I think this might be too much too fast, and Darren Wynn is really small for the division. Our third pick, my girl Jillian Savage Robertson. She's taking on the undefeated Macy Barber. Now, Barber has the UFC's money machine behind her. They are hyping her up. They are looking to push her as a fighter. Jillian Robertson has been overlooked, and her skill set is incredibly dangerous. The girl has got all of her UFC wins by finish. She has a sick pressure game, and we saw Macy Barber really struggle against a lower level competitor in JJ Aldrich in her last fight. This is another big step up in competition. The big spotlight is on Macy Barber. Jillian Robertson is flying under the radar, and I think there is some serious value on her. I got her at plus 140. That line has crashed, and then there was some buyback. So I think she's sitting around plus 115 or plus 120 at this point. I still think there's value there. I think she straight wins the fight. In fact, I think she wins this thing by first round submission. So if you want to really roll those dice, take a shot on Jillian Robertson inside the distance. I think you're going to get about plus 200 on that. I absolutely love that, and I'll probably be sprinkling that myself. Our final pick of the night, we're going to the main event. Dominic Reyes is welcoming Chris Weidman to the 5-pound division. And Chris Weidman, he's the 185-pound former champion. He is 1-4 in his last 5. All 4 of those losses have been by knockout. The dude is shot. He's shop-worn. He was an incredible talent. He's tough, but he just can't cut it these days. He's talking about how he's motivated to jump up to 205 and take the title from John Jones and all this kind of stuff. When you're 35 years old and you're coming off of 4 knockout losses, I don't know that motivation for another title is going to get it done. It just won't be enough. Dom Reyes is a huge 205er. The dude is massive. He's 11-0. Undefeated. He's got 6 knockout wins. Heavy hands. He's a very talented striker, and he's got some wrestling chops himself. He's got really strong, powerful hips, so I think he's going to be able to get low, use the cage, defend that takedown, and if he forces Chris Weidman to stand with him, it's going to be a long night for Chris. I don't think he can hang with this guy on the feet. I especially don't think that he can hang with this guy on the feet for a full 15 or 25 minutes. It is the main event, so it's going to be a 5-round fight. Keep that in mind. I know you might think the 5-round fight is going to favor Chris Weidman, and gas tank wise, maybe it does, but chin wise, I don't think so, because the more he gets hit, the more of a chance he's got to go down. I am all about fading the aging fighter here in this spot. I think Dom Reyes is the future of 205 pounds. I think he's going to be a top 3 competitor here in just a fight or two. I am all over Dom Reyes in this spot. I got him at minus 147. He's sitting around minus 160, minus 165 at this point. And again, he's a fighter that I like to just straight up win. I think you can take him inside the distance if you want to, but we saw him grind out a really hard-fought decision against Volkan Oezdemir in his last fight. I prefer to play this one straight. I think it's just a safer way to go. We've only got 4 picks this week. I do apologize. I know that's a little closer to the vest, but we're trying to be careful because there's some serious volatility on the card. One thing I do want to mention is the co-main event is Yair Rodriguez versus Jeremy Stephens. That was the headliner for UFC Mexico not too long ago, and it had that really weird ending where Jeremy Stephens got poked in the eye about 15 seconds into the fight, and they had to cancel it. So they've rebooked it. That fight is happening on Friday, and I don't like it. I had Jeremy Stephens when this was a 5-round main event fight because I think he's going to be able to tag Yair up, and Yair gasses as the fight goes on. However, with it being moved to the co-main event slot, it's a 3-rounder instead of being a 5-rounder, and I think that really favors Yair Rodriguez. He can keep his gas tank up, and he can keep his striking up over the course of 15 minutes so much more effectively than he can over the course of 25 minutes. Plus, if we're banking on Jeremy Stephens to get that knockout, it's going to be a lot harder to do in just 3 rounds than it will be in the 25 minutes he had available to him the last time they were scheduled. I've got a very, very hard lean to Jeremy Stephens. I am not pulling the trigger on it at this point, however, because like I said, becoming a 3-round fight really, really favors Yair Rodriguez. Jeremy Stevens, however, is fired up. I've never seen him this emotional before. I've never seen him this angry before. He feels like he absolutely got stiffed the way the fans treated him. He took offense to it. And the fact that Yair Rodriguez is telling him and everybody basically that he was a bitch and he pulled out of that fight and he faked the eye poke, he's taking that very personally. I think he's going to come out here looking for blood. At the weigh-ins just yesterday morning, this morning, he said in Spanish that your boy is going to die. So he is looking to do some serious damage to Yair Rodriguez. If you like the emotion, if you like the heat he's bringing to the table, take that shot. I'm just a little nervous that he might go for that kill a little too much and over.
She did exactly what I thought she would. Won all 3 rounds. So we had a great, pretty good profit there. Not to mention Divson Figueroa and Marvin Vittori parlay came through. Max Griffin, I do believe he won that fight, Clint. I know you were on Alex Morano, but I know you could see that fight going to Max as well. So I'll give you that one, but I feel like the judges got that one wrong. But on to this week. First off, we got Jillian Robertson versus Macy Barber. Originally, I was going to be betting Macy here. The lines got steamed up a little bit. I would have took her if it was, even pick'em type odds. She's at the minus 130ish right now. But in the props, I saw something I would like to take advantage of that I like a little bit better. You can get at minus 149 at William Hill for the fight to go over 1.5 rounds. I totally see that happen unless Jillian slaps on some sort of submission and Macy taps. Jillian's a tough girl. Macy's tough as well. If they just start throwing down, I could see that thing going all 3 rounds. So that brings me on to my next bet. Fight to start round 3 at plus 105. I like that bet as well. So I'm jumping on both those prop bets on the Macy Barber, Jillian Robertson fight. Plus 105 at 5 dimes. And then you can get the minus 149 over 1.5 at William Hill. On to the next fight, though. We got Kyle Chaos Bochniak versus Sean Woodson. That's coming off the Contender Series knockout, that flying knee. He was losing that fight up until that flying knee. So if it wasn't for that flying knee, he wouldn't even be in this situation. And he's the one that called out Kyle Bochniak due to stylistic matchups. He thinks Kyle is just a stand and bang fighter. He's not. He's got great grappling. He's got great wrestling credentials. Look into his high school career and whatnot. He was an unbelievable wrestler. He has implemented that here and there in the UFC as well. So I don't know where not what he was thinking, but it's not just going to be a stand-up fight in this. I think Kyle Bochniak is going to use his fighter IQ and use his wrestling when he needs to. And all he has to do is take Woodson down. He's a tall, skinny dude for the weight division, so his takedown defense ain't going to be there. So I like Kyle Bochniak in this position here. You get him at minus 125 at Pinnacle. Money is starting to come in on him, so you do have to jump on him fast. By fight time, he'll probably be in the minus 160-ish range, maybe even minus 170, who knows. But I'm not big on the Sean Woodson kid yet, not yet at least. Real quick though, I want to touch on the Weidman-Reyes fight right behind us. Listen, this is Weidman's first fight at 205 pounds. It's hard to bet him here or against him here. But I don't blame anybody for taking Reyes. He is going to be the monster in this cage. He's going to be upwards of 20-25 pounds heavier, which is going to make it harder for Weidman to wrestle. And the only way I see Weidman win this fight is taking him down and maybe submitting him or keeping him on his back for 5 straight rounds. So I just don't see that happening. I could see Reyes finishing Weidman within the 5 rounds. You get that at minus 155 at Pinnacle. It's like I said, it's not a play of mine, but I don't blame anybody for taking that. Also, Yair and Jeremy Stevens. I was on Jeremy Stevens 2 weeks ago in UFC Mexico City. But after that eye poke and the first 15 seconds I saw in that fight, not to mention this is a 3-round fight, not 5 rounds, 3-round fight, I just didn't like where I sat after that 15 seconds. I was on Stevens. I just didn't think I was on the right side of that bet. I know it was only 15 seconds. We saw next to nothing. I just felt something. So I'm staying away from that fight altogether, and I'm leading Yair Rodriguez to win that fight. But that's it. So if you guys want to chop it up with me, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at Mr. Fatfist, no period, just MRFATFIST. And let's cash these bets, boy. Let's go. I'm hungry. I want to eat. Let's eat. Let's go. Clint, as usual, I'm coming for you.
That's Fat Fist coming to us live from Boca Raton, Florida. Man, good stuff there. That was funny, man. And good UFC picks there from both guys. So hopefully got a lot out of that. And if you're looking to bet tomorrow night's card, it's Friday night action for UFC, not on Saturday. Interesting tidbit about Fat Fist. We actually grew up not too far from each other, and we were chilling down in Miami for the SBR get-together, betting with the bag get-together. We actually knew a childhood friend, David Braden. So just kind of a small world little story there about Mr. Fat Fist. Good guy, knows his UFC. So if you tail him, best of luck. Animarak as well. So, guys, that card is on Friday night. We got DJ Big Boss joining right around the corner for tonight's card. We got MLB Houston at New York Yankees. Looks like 8:08 p.m. exact on the East Coast start here. 8.5 being the total. Heavy winds in the Northeast in New York City, so keep that in mind. And we've also seen this side have some kind of opinion in the marketplace in terms of we're seeing Pinnacle at minus 128. We're seeing Bookmaker minus 135. We're even seeing Bovada. That's no secret. They'll go off market as high as minus 144 right now. So looking at SBR odds, almost a 20-cent difference from high watermark to low watermark on the Yankees. You don't see that every day, especially back in October baseball. Might be something you see in April baseball, not necessarily October. Not sure what that exactly means, but Tanaka, I think he's a pretty big game pitcher here. Some people liking the Houston Astros. I'm leaning towards the Yankees. Don't feel real strong about it. Also, the Kansas City-Denver game tonight, 49 being the total. KC -3 on the road. I'd lean Denver in that one. Home team getting points, short week with altitude, better defense. That's kind of checking a lot of boxes there for the Broncos profile at home. However, if that Chiefs offense is rolling, tough one to stop. College football, which we'll get DJ Big Boss's opinion on as well. I like the Sunbelt matchup, like the favorite in it, actually. The Ragin' Cajuns not on a short week. They played midweek last week against App State, laying the 6. I'd look towards the Ragin' Cajuns at Arkansas State and Jonesboro, Arkansas, and UCLA Stanford. I think this is a tough one, man. I don't know really how to handicap it in terms of, I think a lot can happen. This one is on ESPN, -3, -3.5 mostly. So you got to lay that hook if you're looking to bet on the Cardinal tonight. We got Clint in the house, Fat Fist in the house as well. Good video, buddy. Animarak as well. Good video from you guys. Comparing the two in terms of betting the UFC is always a cool thing to do for handicappers. I am Drew Martin on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets, stepping in for the legendary Jimmy the Bag, who is out on a sick day. But of course, there are differing reports, what he's actually doing down there in that Central American country, Pura Vida style in Costa Rica. Rafa behind the scenes producing it all. As always, we'll get his Costa Rican Primera Division pick towards the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. He knows that Costa Rican football very, very well. But DJ Big Boss, we're getting him on the back end here. But guys, did want to look ahead towards this college football card on Saturday and also Friday night's action. We got Marshall and FAU. And, I really like this FAU team. Talking about Boca Raton, I just feel like this Conference USA they're one of the more talented teams in the conference. When you look at their players, just the eye test, man, they're ready to go. Whatever you want to say about 2, 3, even 4 stars, a couple of them on that roster from South Florida, those kids can really play. They got a 4-star quarterback in Chris Robinson, transferred from Oklahoma to FAU. In the first 2 weeks, they lost to Ohio State. They also lost to UCF. When you start talking about quality losses through the first 2 weeks, that's number 1 in college football, in my opinion. And since then, they've run off a bunch of wins in a row and covers in a row. They've been making money of late. One of the better bets I've placed here, -5.5 now. You can get the Owls at home in Boca Raton against Marshall. I like FAU on tomorrow night's card, Friday Night Lights action. Also UNLV, Fresno State, and the market's moved on this one. The total was 55. I think UNLV is an under team. Their defense playing tough. We saw it against Vanderbilt in SEC country, holding them at bay. And also before that, against Boise State, that Rebels defense did play pretty well. Their defensive line getting after it. And I don't think Fresno State's offense is necessarily next level in terms of up-tempo scoring points. So I look towards the under here. The market has pushed it down to 53, so a 2-point move. Still like it under, but not as good of a number there. Want to always try to be getting good numbers. And then a fascinating matchup in the Big Ten. Friday night lights action, Ohio State at Northwestern. We got Ohio State minus 28. 49.5 being the total. And Northwestern, they're in Evanston, Illinois, I believe, outside of Chicago. Ryan Field, a grass field, and I doubt Northwestern's cut the grass in a month and a half to try and slow down Ohio State. I know if I was them, I wouldn't. So look for a little home field advantage here with Northwestern at home on a Friday night. Plus the fact Ohio State has Wisconsin on deck, a little bit of a look-ahead spot. Got me leaning towards Northwestern Wildcats, the close your eyes special, so to speak. Just bet it, plus 4 touchdowns and watch that clock run. We are seeing a low total under 50, so kind of things pointing towards the Northwestern side. The degenerate in me feels like I need to get a bet down on it, and I'm leaning towards the dog. Let me know what you guys think about the Friday night slate. We got Anthony in the house saying, listen, Ohio State is going to roll everyone in the Big Ten. Yeah, a lot of opinion in that sentiment, and it's tough to make the argument, man. They're a pretty talented team, one of the most talented teams in the country, so they could make a 28 number look small. It's not something I'm going to bet big by any means. Kelly Bryant playing for Mizzou. I don't know. Haven't followed the Mizzou team very closely. Vandy is horrific, Drew, from Hal. You're right, man. This is a down Vanderbilt squad. Not so sure how much I would put into that UNLV performance. You're right, man. That is a good point. That Vanderbilt team, I think, is one of the worst SEC teams in the last decade. They can't do anything offensively. Defensively, they're not that great. That's a good point. We got Molly Mall in the house. What's up, buddy? Jay Blue. Am I still on Tulane? Absolutely, Jay. I think the Green Wave, I think I bet them every week throughout the season, if not, 5 of the 6 games they played. Willie Fritz's group, they got a quarterback, McMillan. He's a transfer from LSU. He's a great athlete, and he can throw the ball, lefty. They just keep the ball on the ground, not necessarily a triple option, but kind of a spread option attack going up against Memphis. I think Memphis is a little bit overrated. I really do. Their quarterback, he's not a guy you want punching up in terms of he'll put up big numbers against, like lower competition in college football. I would love him against, like a MAC team, something like that. Memphis would score 50 plus points, but against good defenses, I don't think Memphis is going to score a lot of points. And Tulane's one of the better defenses in the AAC, in my opinion. They're also really good up front. So the quarterback's going to have to beat them. I don't think Memphis is going to be able to run the ball down Tulane's throat. So I took the points, plus 4.5, I believe is what I got them at. Looks to be mostly 4s out there on Tulane. I like the Green Wave a lot. One of my bigger plays of the weekend. Kansas City, Denver, first score field goal plus money. That's what Male Palas Way saying. All right, interesting name there. Where's Gas Station Sushi? Wondering where you're at, man. We got some cool names in the Low Bag family. Love it, man. This is the best chat box in all of gambling YouTube, in my opinion, bro. Molly Mall, what's up, buddy? Anthony Mascheroni in the house. It's hard to read this, man. Jimmy's always got a lot going on. He does a great job. It's kind of hard to keep up with the chat box. What's going on? We got Rafa talking to me. It's a lot going on here, but great stuff, guys. Anthony in the house. What's up, man? We got DJ Big Boss on deck right now. So we'll be talking some more college football with him and really whatever else he wants to talk about. So he's standing by right now. We're not really sure where he's coming to us from. Maybe the state of California. Heck, who knows? Maybe on the other side of the world. Got him in now. DJ Big Boss. Welcome in, buddy.
What's up, Drew? Man, I'm still here. Day 3 in the hair restoration clinic, and it's not working, buddy. But I'm eating good. I'm feeling good. Today I have to do this little sexually transmitted disease evaluation to see if the hair medicine they've been used may have caused the drips. So I have to do that. It's a painful procedure, but glad I got you guys with me to go through this right now. And shout out to Jimmy, man. I hope Jimmy gets better. Hey, Jimmy, you might want to check. It might be an STD. We never know. Never, bad to check. So how you feeling there, Drew?
DJ Big Boss, I'm doing good, man. And you're talking about this STD thing, man. And were you blaming the STD on the hair loss treatment, and not the kind of hooker that was missing some teeth the other night?
Oh, no. It's no women here in this facility at all. It's definitely the stuff that they gave me. Due to modern day medical and medicine, they have a pill for everything. So, feel free to get an STD. It's okay. Just make sure you go to the doctor before you spread it. And they got stuff for you right there. It's no big deal. So some of the stuff they using to get pubical follicles to, replace the hair, it's medicine. It's kind of complicated, Drew. But that's another thing. How you feeling about this week's card in college football?
I'm feeling good about it, man. And we got the closing line show, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, each and every Saturday. DJ Big Boss and myself joined with Ian Cameron and Big Ragu. We got Nut Flush Allen in the house asking, Nut Flush, I'm down to chill with any low baggers that come to Vegas, man. I'm enjoying Vegas a lot, living out here. And DJ Big Boss, I know you're not far from Vegas. Before we break down this card, how far of a drive are you from Las Vegas?
All depends on traffic in California, Drew. But, on a good day, 3.5. If you're a fast driver, 3. But, at an average about 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, man. And heck, I know you big college football guy, Notre Dame fan, right there in the state of California. Before we get to the Saturday card, is there anything you like on tonight's card and Friday night lights action? We got some Pac-12 games, Big Ten game with Northwestern Ohio State, plus some Conference USA and Sun Belt action. You looking to get involved at all in Thursday or Friday night college football action, or should we step into the Saturday card?
Limited involvement on this Thursday night. Well, actually, no involvement on the college card for the Thursday night, but for tonight. I'm excited for this game tonight. Mahomes has a tender ankle over there. They have a lot of injuries. They're coming on a short week right here, and defense is all that Denver has. And so I'm sure they're packing defense at home tonight. And I'm riding with the Broncos, not one of the teams that with the offense over there, not something you really want to back, but just a really hot spot for a Kansas City team that's kind of working backwards right now against themselves. And it's okay for Kansas City and Andy Reid. They can fix this later on in the season, but looks like the way everything is going to fall is going to be 3 straight losses for Kansas City. But definitely staying away from Chip Kelly and UCLA tonight. Too much volatility. I'm not sure. I couldn't date back to his stats versus Brian Shaw back when he was at Oregon. I don't know if he really has his number or did they not measure up. So I didn't go deep enough in it to choose a side nor total, but just scares me off 100% on that one. And the other game, what is it, Louisiana Monroe, I believe? Oh, Louisiana Lafayette, Arkansas State. Another game I want to stay away from. A lot of volatility with Arkansas State in that one. Louisiana Lafayette can play a little bit. I capped them a few weeks ago. Maybe we want to play a total on this one or something, trying to stay away from the side. But I'm going to stay off of it altogether. I'm going to stick with the NFL and also the baseball we got going for tonight. But I got to play for Friday. What you think about the Friday card, Drew?
Yeah, I broke it down a little bit before you got on. I mean, I think first of all, this Friday card is packed, man. We got, 4 games? Even the Mountain West game, the late night action, I really like. UNLV Fresno State, I already bet it under the total. It's a packed house. I like the card overall. I like FAU, the Owls, minus the points. This Ohio State Northwestern game, I I'm kind of leaning towards the dog, with long grass there in Evanston, slowing down Ohio State. But I have a feeling that that's one of those that's going to burn me, man. And Ohio State is going to make this number look small. So I don't really feel confident in the Big Ten action. Pittsburgh versus Syracuse. I really like Pitt. I think Syracuse struggles against a good defense, and we know Pitt has a good defense with Narduzzi at the helm. And UNLV Fresno State, I like it. I like it under. What are you thinking here on the Friday Night Lights action?
Now, Marshall and FAU, I'm going to give that a pass, but I want to get involved with Pittsburgh and Syracuse. Now, we did say last week that Syracuse was kind of do or die last week if they was going to turn this season around. They've been the worst disappointment in the ACC. I think they were predicted to be second, and they're just doing bad right now. But they're at the midway point, 3-3 right here. And it's on a make-or-break game against this Pittsburgh team that's really hungry. The defense is together. They haven't really got the running game going 100%, but these guys can pass the ball. They're passing for 276 a game, 60% completion rating. They got a T-Mac wide receiver, 511 yards, but he only has 2 touchdowns. So they're moving the ball around in the air. And they must be doing it by a lot of outs and quick passes and stuff because they hold the ball, total possession 31-45. So that means that they're moving the ball without running because they only run for about 116 a game. They're moving the ball shortly with the throwing attack at a 60% rate. So the offense over at Pittsburgh can move the ball, and Syracuse defense has been struggling, but they do have a true stud in L. Williams. He has 43 tackles for the season, 3.5 sacks. He's a straight stud on defense, but he's going to have his work full because they're going to be throwing the ball this weekend, so he's going to be scrolling back a little bit to cover instead of running up, tackling, because they do rushing defense really well. They average giving up 4.3 yards a carry, 149 points a game. So at offense versus defense with Pittsburgh definitely wins that matchup right there. Now let's look at defense versus offense. So Syracuse offense is number 93 in the country, 373 yards a game. But the exciting fact with this game right here is that Syracuse offense is giving up 26 sacks. And here we have Pittsburgh defense, who's at an alarming 21 sacks for the season. So these guys are really going to get after, what's his name, Tommy DeVito. They're going to really get after Tommy DeVito. He's already been on shaky ground. I couldn't make a case for Syracuse in this one at all. I wanted to go with the total. I thought it would come out a little higher since they were going to be at Syracuse on the turf. But they're right on it, around 51. It's been bouncing up to 52. If it gets to 50, anything higher than the 52, you might want to take a shot with the under on that one. But for now, the best side is Pitt minus the 3.
All right, liking Pitt minus 3. I'm with you on that. The market's pushed it to mostly 3 in the hook, but yeah, if you can find a 3 out there, probably worth a shot on Friday Night Lights action. We got DJ Big Boss coming to us from the Hair Loss Treatment Center somewhere in the state of California. DJ Big Boss, you're a Cali guy. Before we get to the Saturday and Sunday cards here, man, in terms of, have you ever lived anywhere else but the state of California?
Yeah, I only lived in the state of California, Drew, but I did used to work on the road, and I spent the time, up north. I spent some time in Vegas. I spent some time in Arizona. So I've been a few other places, but, born and raised Cali right here, city all the way. I don't even go to Big Bear for the snow. I could care less. I'm a sunny Cal kid right here.
Man, you're lucky, man. Southern Cal in terms of the weather. Just being out west, this is the first time I've lived really west of the Mississippi, and not having humidity is a real good thing for life overall, man. Being able to go outside and not, sweat your ass off, and it's definitely got its pluses being out here on the West Coast. So also being near the beach in Cali, that's got to be good stuff, man. We got Maxwell Smart in the house. What's up, Mr. College Football himself? Brandon Cummings in the house as well. Donkey Capping 101. Donkey Capping, good name there. Drink in Hand, very good name as well. Sounds like a country song. In fact, it is a country song. Canadian Capper 72. saying, Jimmy, you look young again. Ha ha ha. Not sure if you think I look like Jimmy or DJ Big Boss, but actually Jimmy is on the shelf taking a sick day, or at least telling us he's taking a sick day. I kind of believe that he's got a Flor de Cana in one hand and a Jameson in the other hand as he's rocking in a rocking chair on the beach of Jaco, Costa Rica right now with a nice scenery. Could be wrong. He might be in his bed watching the show right now. Hope you feel better if you are, Jimmy. But DJ Big Boss, let's open up the card to Saturday's action. We'll get your full analysis on the closing line on Saturday morning, putting in all the bets right before kickoff. But man, let's open it up to the Saturday card. What's kind of tickling your fancy on that?
Oh, man, you know how we do it over here, Drew, on this Low Bagger show right here on Fridays. You know, I give my full breakdown of the Mountain West, where I do it the best. So I got all my Mountain West leans and looks and plays and stuff right here for the people. And I'm just going to run through them. And, you know, y'all can respond in the chat. You can ask me some questions, whatever you want to do. But let's jump right into the Friday game right here. Now, I did make a mistake. And I took this one in the Pick 6 contest. Make sure y'all get in the Pick 6 contest. And I'm going to be correcting it in the DJ Big Boss NCAA Football Monthly contest. Make sure y'all get in that contest. But it's right here in the UNLV and Fresno State game. Now, I did in the Pick 6 contest take UNLV plus the 14. But I'm not sure if that's gonna hold out as much as I believe in the over in this spot. I know you're on the under, but I believe in the over in this one. UNLV is going to be a little sparked after the Vandy game, and they definitely can put up 2 or 3 touchdowns. And Fresno State, they'll do the rest in this one. Even in a blowout situation, it still goes over the total. Like I said, I might have been wrong taking the points with UNLV, and if Fresno State do score more, then the 14 points is definitely going to be over, maybe like a 40 to 20 something type game or something like that. But I'm loving the over 53 in this one, even though Fresno State is lacking on offense. That's where they're lacking this year. They're doing decent on defense, but they're lacking on offense. They're coming off a bye in this one, and they have a chance to get some offense at home. So it looks really good for Fresno State. But this UNLV team, they got to be on the road. But they did have a little travel situation. They're coming back from going to Vandy. Then they have to go to Fresno State. But Fresno State's only about 3.5 hours from Vegas as well. So they do have that on their side. But they are moving around a lot. But Coach Tony Sanchez at UNLV, he's a real tricky guy, man. As soon as you think you count him out, he does like he did last week, and he beats Vandy. And, you know, as soon as you think in the season that he's out in the Mountain West, he'll mess around and beat Nevada or something like that. So you got to watch him right here against a Fresno State team that is, you know, predicted not to be as good as they was last year for sure. And they on a slow spiral down. I have a little faith in them, though. I think they can turn it around, but they definitely don't win the Mountain West. So best bet in that game is the over 53. I like that one. Then we got Nevada and Utah State. This is one of the late games right here now. I broke that one down pretty good. And after going through it, I wanted to side with the plus 21 with Nevada. I think Coach Jay Norvell works really hard. I don't think he wants to go out like that. He has the young guy, Malik Henry. We don't know what that guy is going to be capable of in this game. So the 21, you know, it sounds very tempting. Now, Malik Henry, on the other hand, another situation that I've been watching in college football. So a couple times I got burnt, especially with USC, where the second-string quarterback came in after the starting quarterback went out. He did a bad job. I was down on that quarterback. Next game, he came out and did a superior job. So I think the dynamic there is that these quarterbacks, they come in, they play a little bit, then they get a chance to get coached up going into the final week, to the second week, and they do better in the second week. So I'm expecting Malik Henry to do well in this one and get some points on the board as well. 59 is a low total in this one. It's already expected for Utah State to score a lot of points. They're number 32 on offense, but they're number 95 on defense. But the tricky part about them being 95 on defense, they only give up 25 points a game, but they're bleeding in the pass area, which Nevada will go to exploit. So I think some points can definitely get on the board in that one, and I like the over in the Nevada-Utah State game. Next up, New Mexico and Wyoming. If you watched the game last week, Wyoming, San Diego State, physical. These two teams were physical. Now we got this physical Wyoming team against the struggling New Mexico team, and they coming up to Wyoming to play, which is a rough place to play. I think Wyoming has their way with this team 100%, and also it stays under the total. So I like Wyoming minus the 7.5, and I like under the 49. That's where it's at now.
I love that
So
play.
next-
I mean, I've been fading New Mexico all season long here, DJ Big Boss. So fading them here against the Wyoming team, Craig Bowl, well coached, and it's in Laramie, Wyoming. It's the highest altitude of any Division I program in terms of their home field altitude. It's a tough place to play. I think New Mexico, who's also at high altitude, give them that, but still, it's a tough ask to go against a good Wyoming Cowboys defense. I'm with you on that, Wyoming. Also looking towards Nevada over, like the analysis there. DJ Big Boss, we got a couple questions in here. Joshua Gray saying, anyone like UCLA over the total? And yeah, UCLA, it's always tough to bet under because I do think Stanford will be able to score on them. So I'm leaning towards the over. We got James saying, is this live right now? Absolutely, James. We are coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Costa Rica on the back end. And we got DJ Big Boss from the state of California there in SoCal, drinking hand in house. D-Slayer Ski in the house as well. Maxwell Smart. Guys, what is up? Rutgers plus 28, a question as well. DJ Big Boss, did you have anything else on the Saturday card you wanted to throw out there to the watchers?
Oh, absolutely. And let me stand corrected on this Wyoming-New Mexico game. I capped Wyoming to win by 7.5. That's the point spread I came out 19.5. I think that's a lot of points for Wyoming, a team that's struggling on offense right here. They're 107. They're only getting up about 29 points a game. They're holding the ball for about 29 minutes, and they're doing this mostly running. So let me stand corrected on that. Let me take New Mexico plus the 19.5. Just a little bit too much for this physical team with no offense.
Going against it. All right.
Win,
we're on the opposite sides.
Now,
yeah, DJ Big Boss, we're on opposite sides, man, but all good.
Drew Martin, I got Boise State and BYU. Now, this is a tough game for me to pick anything in, but I think this is my contrarian play right here, and I'm going to go with the over in this matchup. Boise State outside the Bluegrass. Nobody really wants to trust Boise State outside the Bluegrass. They play on a BYU team that used to be in the same conference with. They have plenty of history with each other. And Boise State is also going on a bye following this game. So they got plenty of incentive to win this game on the road, relax, take a week off, and get ready to continue this wonderful season. They're 6-0. BYU won't stop them. I also like Boise State minus the 6.5. It's probably going to go to 7.5 before the game is over. But I'm also loving the over in this one. And my Mountain West pick of the week, Drew. I ain't going to hold you up. I know you got a lot of stuff to do, but it's in the San Diego State, San Jose State. Now, granted, recency bias, San Jose State's been playing a lot better than they have for a long time. They have quarterback Josh Love, 10 TDs, only 2 interceptions. They have a defense that's ranked pretty low, but they do a fair job out of there. They have 13 interceptions for the year so far. They got a linebacker who's a straight stud, 58 tackles for the season, 1 sack, and an interception for Agaya over there on defense for San Jose State, which is all nice, fine and dandy, and all that good stuff. But Coach Rocky Long over at San Diego State, this is the team he probably figured he had last year, but this is the team that he really wants right here, and they're doing well this year. They're 5-1 so far. I think they're a shoe-in for their side of the Mountain West, and it's going to be them versus Boise in the championship. They have to get over this San Jose State team, put them back in their place. Although they're having a great season, they playing the big boys right now. San Diego State with their run attack, their lockdown defense will shut these guys down. Even though the San Jose State guys are a lot mature. They've been together for a while. There are a lot of seniors on that team. But the San Diego State team was really young last year, and they matured as well. And I don't see them letting up on San Jose State. I had them capped at winning by 2 touchdowns or more. and it came out at 7. I think it's up to 8 at this point, and I'm still on San Diego State to win this game, probably by like 17.
All right, liking the Aztecs on that one. All right, good stuff there in the Mountain West where DJ Big Boss does it best. Good stuff as always, DJ Big Boss. Anything else you wanna throw out there to the watchers before we shut this down and let everybody know where they can find you, man?
Man, that's all I got for the week so far, man. But make sure you tune in to Drew Martin, Babano, and Big Ragu 62, and myself on Saturday on the closing line. And as you know, Drew Martin, we even had some discussions last week. I told you it was going to be an upset, and I think it's going to be upset week again. This week, somebody's going to get upset as well. We're separating the men from the boys in college football this week. But if you want to stay tuned to everything I do with Who Bangin' Sports, all the different stuff we got going on, make sure you follow me on Twitter at DJBIGGBOSS, or go right over on YouTube to Who Bangin' Sports Talk, and you'll see me right there. You'll have all of our information, all the stuff we do. And definitely join the Pick 6 contest and the DJ Big Boss NCAA football contest. I'm smashing. You can see my record is right there as soon as you get in. So if you want to say anything crazy or anything, bring it on to the chat over there in the SBR forum. Let's have some fun.
Oh, DJ Big Boss, always great stuff, man. And yeah, the closing line, 11 a.m. Eastern, we're on together. And off of a 4-0, DJ Big Boss, best bet Saturday from the closing line. So hopefully go 3-1 and better this week. DJ Big Boss, always a great time, guys. And follow him on Twitter, watch his shows. He's a great guy. So thanks for coming in, DJ Big Boss, and best of luck with your bets tonight and going forward. Guys, we got
no problem, Drew.
All right, buddy.
No problem,
good stuff, man.
We got
a bunch of guys in the chat saying different things here in terms of what they're looking at on the weekend card. We got about only about 5 minutes left for the show, so we'll quick hit it here and get Rafa's best bet in the Costa Rican Primera League division for all the degenerates out there that want to bet some Central American soccer that by no means does not make you a degenerate, because I bet it as well. We got Mr. Mississippi saying, can SMU cover against Temple? Absolutely, they can cover. I like Temple, though, here. I think the defense from Temple just played Memphis, won on them there. I'm going to follow the Owls again over SMU this weekend. We got, I think it's priced evenly or slightly over for Evans. We got Molly Mall in the house asking some questions as well. There's also another good question here in terms of the Washington-Oregon game. Not sure who asked it. I lost it on the chat. But, yeah, I kind of like the under here. And it's weird to think about with what two really good quarterbacks. But Oregon's playing under football. Their defense is pretty good. And their offense not really taking, like, the deep chances like they have in the past. So looking towards the under and looking towards the Ducks, although Gianni the Greek, a guy I did videos with just on Wednesday, he liked Washington at the 2.5 number. He was moving it half a point off of there. So there are some big money groups out there liking the other side, which kind of worries me. We got Buffalo on a juicy total here in the chat box. He's got a parlay. Tough to read all of that. I'm not a big parlay guy, man. I like straight sides and totals. Just think it's a little bit cheaper here for the sports bettors. But overall, guys, do a little recap here and get Rafa from Costa Rica's best bet in the Primera division down there in Costa Rica. And before we throw it over there to Rafa, do just want to throw a story out there. I did go to a Costa Rican Primera game. I believe it was Heredia versus Cartago. And Rafa and I went and we were just hanging out. And as we're leaving the game, dude, there was like 3 or 4 people that were like, hey, Rafa. And I'm like, dude, these people know him. How do you know him? He's like sort of famous down there. He does like movies and stuff in Costa Rica. So the producer for Betting with the Bag is, I guess like a famous movie star, something like that down in Costa Rica. So without further ado, we got Rafa behind the scenes with his Costa Rica Primera Division game. Rafa, join us, buddy.
Hello. All good, buddies. Hello to all.
Hola, Mike. ¿Cómo está?
Pura vida. All right. My pick for this time is for tonight match. We got Alajuelense against Universidad de Costa Rica. Well, Alajuelense are under the first position with a better defense and offense and a great strikers, a lot of motivation. And the U is pretty much nothing right now. So my pick ER is Alajuelense at 1.66, available at Bet365. Is for tonight match, I think. Yeah.
Alajuelense over University of Costa Rica. Is that correct, Rafa?
Yes, Alajuelense.
All right, and you got them at a plus price.
Yep.
Nice. So they got to win the
1.66.
game. They can't tie. If you tie, you lose. That's correct.
That's correct. That's the
All
Alajuelense
right.
to win.
Alajuelense, and that was plus. What was the number?
1.66.
All right, 166 plus price, so an underdog price there for Alajuelense to beat University of Costa Rica from Rafa. Rafa, mi amigo, gracias.
You're welcome, man. I'm glad to be here. See you next time, buddy.
All right, buddy, always good. Rafa, pura vida mai. He's down there in Costa Rica, betting the Costa Rican Premier Division games. I'm 2-0 when tailing him here, so I'm going to join him on that. Alajuelense plus 166, I believe it was. Also, guys, keep in mind, I thought it was funny. He said the U. That's kind of like, I guess, slang in Spanish for the University of Costa Rica. Interesting tidbit there. I think there's 9 teams in the Costa Rican Premier Division League, the soccer league, the professional league down there. And University of Costa Rica is one of them. So there's like 8 professional teams, and their main university is also in the professional league. I thought that was kind of funny. So he's looking to fade him there. Good stuff from Rafa. Guys in the chat, thanks, man. Wally George in the house. What's up, buddy? Black Baller as well. Jonathan Suki. Oh, there's 12 teams, Rafa's telling me. But one of them I know is the Costa Rican University, which for Americans is a little bit different. You know, we have 2 different things. So thought that was funny. Thought I'd share. Guys, little recap here before we shut this down. We got what on tonight's card. Leaning towards the Denver Broncos here, +3, the home team at elevation, short week for Kansas City. I do think Patrick Mahomes is a little bit beat up. That offense not running on all cylinders by any means, and after a short week, I don't think it will tonight. It's a tough travel spot for him in altitude up there, Mile High Stadium, and Denver's defense, I think, stays within this number. So I like Denver Broncos +3. I'm on the Ragin' Cajuns in the Fun Belt. Sun Belt action tonight. Denver -6 against Arkansas State. UCLA and Stanford, I really can't decide. I don't know, man. I think that this is a tough handicap. I could see it going a lot of different ways. Doubt I get involved with the Pac-12 game. Houston at the Yankees. I like the favorite here, the Yankees with Tanaka, a big game pitcher at home in Yankee Stadium. We can get him now under -130, -129 at Pinnacle right now, -130-ish at a couple spots, including Bet Online. So look towards that. NHL, wish I could help out a little more. I will say this, man. Vegas Golden Knights, that home field atmosphere, they haven't been that good out the gate, but for whatever it's worth, guys, this is the first hockey city I've ever lived in, and when they have a home game, this town is just decked out in Vegas Golden Knights gear, and they got a cool setup there, restaurant, bars outside of T-Mobile, right off the strip. It's a really cool setup, hockey town. If you ever have the chance for your local team when they're playing at Vegas, definitely recommend it. Heck, it's probably going to be the same with the Raiders in terms of, you know, if people are going to go to their away, like pick one away game that their team is playing, Vegas would be a great spot to pick it. So I think that the professional teams in Las Vegas are going to have a lot of success in terms of from a business aspect. Just from living here, one thing I've noticed, Ottawa at Vegas, Vegas -300 favorites, 6.5 being the total. I wish I could give some more insight other than just kind of the outside glimpse view of what the Vegas Golden Knights is all about here at home. So that's for tonight's action. In terms of Friday night action, I like FAU. Also like the under in UNLV Fresno State, although DJ Big Boss liked the over, so proceed with caution. Ohio State Northwestern, I think that grass, you know, they haven't cut it for a month and a half there at Northwestern to slow down Ohio State. I think that they could stay within 4 touchdowns close your eyes special, so to speak, but wouldn't be surprised if the Buckeyes run away with it. Guys, overall, went a little bit over an hour here. Sorry about that, but heck, the chat box was live. Appreciate everybody chiming in here in the chat box, standing in for Jimmy the Bag, getting called in out of the bullpen. He did take a sick day there in Costa Rica, so hope all is well, and he is returning tomorrow. Got the morning show and the afternoon show scheduled, I do believe. But everybody out there, Jonathan Sushi, Molly Mal, Chai, Archie, St. Louis, Elite, Molly Mall, Mohammed Jama, as always, guys, appreciate it. Nutflush Allen, shout out to you as well. Paco Healy, if you're out there, all the low baggers, Daryl Lyles as well. Guys, it's been fun. I am Drew Martin at Drew Martin Bets. We got Rafa behind the scenes. Hopefully it was a good show. You liked it. Please smash the like button on your way out. It does help us out. So, guys, until next time, enjoy your Thursday and let Jay a loose bookmakers.